Big Boy's Neighborhood. Alrighty, let's get uncut up in here, man. Now, before we do anything, my guy Daniel, who's like our videographer, he's so territorial. You know what I'm saying? And we have Mikey Alfred that came into the neighborhood. And Mikey, you do great work when it comes to docs, thinking outside the box. And when we told Daniel you were coming in, he was like, well, let him shoot it then. Let him shoot it. Let him shoot it. First off, man, give me a backstory. How old are you?
So I'm 24.
Damn, bro.
Real quick, though, before I get in. So I'm from LA.
Yes, sir.
I'm from North Hollywood. I grew up down the street from here.
Yes, I know. We stalked you.
Yeah, I've been listening to your show a long time. I never knew that the bell is real.
Was a real bell?
That just tripped me out
Amen.
so much.
And let me tell you too, homie, that bell is older than you.
Wow.
Yeah, man, that is the original bell. Years ago, we lost it and had to go get another one for the sound. Yeah, bro. But you know what? People think that it's a sound effect. And people think that we just hit it. Nah, bro. That is the actual bell, man.
Sometimes it sounds good. Sometimes it doesn't.
Right. It depends on who bring it to. You got to hold it at the top like this. See what I'm saying? There it is right there, bro.
Can I tell you a story real quick?
Please do.
Of why I fuck with you so tough.
Please do.
This is such a small thing, but it's so real. When I was in high school and I was building Illegal Civ, my business, I would throw these events where we would do it at the Roxy or, downtown. And one day we were doing it for the Roxy, and I knew a lady named Jill Deegan who worked here. And she would give me really cheap prices on doing radio ads. So I would come here before school and record like a radio ad and then, hear it later. And one day I'm walking to the elevator and I see it closing. I'm like, oh, can you hold it, please? And I didn't know who was in there. And, they press the door open and I get in and it's big.
Oh, that's dope. So I was already here?
You were already in the elevator.
Yeah, but I was at this station, not at Power.
You were already here.
That's dope. Yeah, Can you imagine what kind of asshole I've been? You know when you see the door closing and you make that eye contact, you're like, no, buddy.
but I didn't know you were in there. So once I got in and I seen it was you, we didn't talk, nothing, but we just had a nice little quiet elevator ride. And when we got out, man, big is real.
He could real quiet.
But he could have easily just
closed
the door.
Hey man, you know what's the truth about that though, Mikey? Is it's the small things. You know what I'm saying? That could look huge to somebody, because even with my coming up, and not even about Big Boy, like coming into the game, I still see people and I'm like, they're funky. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're funky, man. You know what I'm saying? And I've been with people where like I take every picture and people don't usually ask for autographs anymore, but I'll sign whatever and I'll take every picture. I mean talking about too, the day when my mom died in the hospital, bro. I was downstairs taking pictures. But I've had one of my partners, somebody asked for a picture and he was like, no, and it hit me. And I was like, man, you need to go back and take that picture. Right. You know what I'm saying? You need to go back and take the picture. Right. And see, what if I would have shut the elevator on you? Purposely. You know what I'm saying? Then you wouldn't be doing a documentary of my life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. As I'm commissioning you to do so.
That's right.
How did now first off, man, when you say illegal civilization, that's something that came to you at an early age, bro. When we thinking about being in our teens, we not thinking about nothing but when can I get home and masturbate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you get the masturbation out the way.
I was also doing that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, and you gotta have some this and that in whatever hand you use it.
Yeah.
But how do you come to that? First off, tell me exactly what this is.
So, we call Legal Civ the first teen movie studio. That's how we refer to it and explain it to people. And what that basically means is we only make videos and movies and content for teenagers.
That's dope, man.
And that's it.
And you knew that early on?
Man.
Because you were a teen?
Man, let me tell you my whole story.
Please do.
Come up. So like I said, I'm from here. I grew up maybe 2 miles away from here in North Hollywood.
Alrighty.
And when I was 10 years old, I started filming skateboarding. Now in North Hollywood, I went to Catholic school. I grew up, going to St. Charles Borromeo. I altar served, sang in the choir, and our choir was directed by this guy named Paul Solomonovich, who directed the choir at the Vatican.
Oh, wow.
He directed the choir for "It's a Small World After All," the Disney song. So he's like super fucking serious guy.
Yeah.
And he directed our choir from first grade till 8th grade when he passed. Rest in peace. But I was doing all that, and when I started filming skateboarding, I told my mom, "Fuck choir." fuck altar serving. I was in like 5th grade. I'm like, I want to quit.
Was your
school.
family into church?
Of course. I grew up super Catholic. Everybody. Yeah. So at 10 years old, when I said that, it's like, whoa, you're tripping. But my mom has been the personal assistant to a guy named Robert Evans for 36 years. And Robert Evans produced The Godfather.
Oh, Lord.
And Rosemary's Baby and Chinatown.
Oh,
and some of those
Lord.
legendary movies of all time. So at 10 years old, I'm sitting across the table from him. And he's like, so you want to do film? I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's my passion. And he's like, would you go to film school? I was like, yeah, of course. Like, I was all excited. The next summer, when I was 11, I went to Columbia University in New York and did a kid film school.
Oh,
this is destiny, bro.
So everyone there is, 10 to 17. And on the last day, you have to show your film to the class. So, my last name is Alfred. I go first. My movie plays, and it's about a kid going from the dorm to class. Along the way, he gets robbed. All this stuff happens. I'm all excited. I'm happy. When it's over, no one claps. And the teacher's on this little podium mic, and he's like, great, next.
Amen.
I looked around like, wait, what?
Are y'all here?
where's my standing O?
For real, though. And I'm 11, you know what I'm saying? So that was like heartbreaking. That was hard to go through. The next kid goes up, and he's like a little white kid, and he pulls a chair in front of the class, and, he sits in the front, and before his movie plays, he goes, I just want to let you guys know I'm so inspired by Jean-Luc Godard and Federico Fellini. I'm like, this kid, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, man.
And his movie comes on. It's 8 minutes of people just walking in New York with no story, no music, no nothing.
Did people
Hey,
clap?
dude, don't
At
tell
the
me.
end, he gets the standing O. The teacher stops the screenings and he goes, guys, real quick, I just got to let you know, this kid is brave. This kid is inventive. This is what filmmaking is about.
Wow.
And I like sat back in my chair and was like, okay. And I sort of had this little like eureka moment, like, wow. When I get back to LA, I have to tell my mom, I have to do film and I have to like pursue it my whole life, because if I don't, kids like this
Yeah, man.
are going to tell my story.
Yeah.
Kids like this are going to talk for me. I can't have this.
That's crazy, because at 11, you already feel like you put your blood, sweat, and tears into it. So that's already vulnerable. And then at that age, everything that we kind of do is like the best shit. You know what I'm saying? And then for you to expect something and not get it, and then Nerd McHurd come up the next time and he gets it. Do you remember that kid's name?
Nope.
Oh, man, I wish you remember that little bastard's name, because look at us now. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, for real though.
But the tuition into the School of Experience, where you go home at about 11 years of age.
The tuition into the School of Experience.
That's
was
hell
some
of a
real
bro.
shit.
Yeah. And people don't understand what the tuition into the School of Experience is, bro. And that right there, when you came home and told your mom that this is what I have to do, or else my story is not going to be told by me, that is a lot for an 11, 12-year-old to say. You know what I'm saying? But to actually come out of your mouth and have that with conviction, and people always say, oh, it was written, it was destiny. Like that's a real purpose. Because at 10, 11, 12, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about changing the world. We're not talking about what we're really going to do for the rest of our lives. Usually early on, we're going to be a police officer, fireman, that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they're saying now. They probably want to be, fucking
Rapper.
thugger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tyler, the Creator or some shit.
Yeah.
But so how do you go from that and use that as fuel? Not getting your standing ovation that you felt you deserved.
Well, look, I grew up skating and I was already skating by that point. So I started looking at skaters and how do they operate? And they say, fuck you to everything and to everybody. And they have their own little industry. That's their own infrastructure, and they can live and have like a nice life in their own little world.
You're not looking for the outside nods, and
I don't give a fuck. So that kind of attitude, it inspired me to start my thing, my skate crew. So at first, it wasn't called Illegal Civ. It was just like we were all from NoHo, Burbank, Glendale, Pasadena area. We all knew.
And
each
how
other
old
from
are
the
you
skate
around that
parks.
time?
We're 12.
How do you even come up with that name?
But listen, I'll tell you right here. So at first it was a skate crew, no name. We made a video that you can look up the trailer for on YouTube. It's called Spark of Life. We're 11, 12 years old, and we premiered it.
Where did you premiere?
That's
Active in
dope.
Burbank.
Oh, nice.
Which is like a couple miles away
Yeah.
from here.
That's dope.
And maybe like, 11 to 12 people came, but we were happy because it's like, wow, these people we don't even know are pulling up.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, we were in my friend Grady canoeing his backyard. And it's all these little kids, and we're sitting in a circle, and we're smoking a joint.
Oh, my God.
And we're like, we got to think of what the name for our next video will be.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like 12 years old. We're in 6th grade, 7th grade.
Yeah.
And we start throwing around names. It should be called Caution Tape.
Yeah.
It should be called Illegal People. Nah, Illegal People's whack, but it's close. It should be called this. And then my friend Grady goes, let's call it Illegal Civilization.
That's crazy.
From that moment, it was like, yes.
It felt right.
And at first, it was
Is he still around now?
So we're not really close like
Damn
that.
that motherfucker. You got the name. You got him in paperwork.
But not for any like bad reasons. I love Grady. And every time we see each other, it's all love. But
How do you go from the start of Illegal Civilization, obviously, then you're growing up a little bit, you're working all the way through it, but then get to this point where all of a sudden in your circle or you're seeing people around you like a Tyler, the Creator, and people who are also making their other marks in the world?
let me tell you, the story of how I linked with Tyler is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So we started Legal Civ. We kept building it. We put out videos. I met Nakel Smith.
Mm-hmm. We had him in the
And
neighborhood with Jonah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Nakel and me met when I was maybe like 15 or 14. And we started skating.
You know what's crazy about
hanging out.
Nakel is like I love like his mom. Like I know mom.
Yes.
Oh.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
DJ
And so to
is a
see her,
legend.
to see her seed
Yeah.
do what he doing. But go ahead with it. That's
Big,
crazy,
big.
man.
You know,
man. It's
You
in
know.
it's in the bloodline of greatness. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? It's in the bloodline of greatness. So knock.
So we meet, we start skating. And, I'm from North Hollywood. And Knock is from LA.
Mm-hmm.
So we had completely different friend groups. We were on some whole other shit. The way I talked and the way I dressed.
Yeah.
Knock would come over to my house. I got the sweater tied around. We go to Pasadena. We're hanging out with all these white boys. It's like I was just on some whole other shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Knock introduced me to Tyler's music first. This is before Yonkers came out. And
Okay.
And he's like, this is my friend who I skate with, and he raps too. I'm like, wow, that's dope.
Could you hear Genius then?
No,
Or-
I honestly couldn't. And then one day Knock's like, yo, they're having a show at the Roxy. This is like their first like real show. Do you want to come? I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. So Nakel brought me to the Roxy, and that's where I was like, whoa.
You saw
This
something.
is like some real shit, And after Knock introduced me to Tyler, I'm like, man, bro, like you killed it, blah, blah, blah. And he kept like lifting my shirt up, trying to like look under. Yeah. And I'm like, this guy is crazy. But from that moment, we weren't even really cool or friends, but I added him on MySpace after. And I hit him up, or Facebook, whichever one. But I hit him up. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm premiering my first like real skate video called Illegal Civilization. Do you think you'd be down to come and perform? And he never hit me back.
Wow.
And I was like, fuck, I fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't like the right move. Yeah. Then when we did the premiere, he came.
Oh,
So he didn't
okay.
perform, but he came.
Right,
And he
right.
pulled up. And that was like, oh, you wanted to see what this is about.
Yeah.
And after that experience, we became like really cool, close friends. And I swear, bro, he taught me everything I know.
And when you say everything you know, what is that?
Just meaning like I got to see him blow up
Right.
and come up with a front row seat.
Hey, dude, and see, that's more of that when I say that tuition into the school of experience, bro, where you become like a sponge.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you're looking at something and you're taking it in, but it becomes almost that wax on, wax off. Like, that's why I was there learning that. That's why I was, you know what I'm saying? And then you start to apply it like, I got it. You know what I'm saying?
Once he blew up, then he started touring.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought like whoever the filmer was at that time, and it just like wasn't right. So Lance Bangs hit me up, who was like working with Tyler's manager Clancy, and he's like, hey, would you be interested on going and filming? Like,
Were you doing a lot then, like on your own?
I was only doing skating though.
Right.
So for them to think that I could go out here and film these concerts was crazy. But they're like, I'm 15. They're like, Tyler said that you film. Would you want to come? And I was like, fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
Let me ask my mom real quick.
Hell, I didn't ask shit. I texted Tyler like, hey, I'm going to come.
Yeah.
And he's like, for sure.
So you didn't even ask for permission. You asked for forgiveness. You told your mom like,
the
peace.
next morning, I was like, Mom, I'm about to leave for 2 months.
Oh
I'm gonna
my
be
gosh.
on tour. I'm missing school. Like, I don't care.
Hey man, that's everything into whatever this basket is.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting out of the church. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much at an early age that you gave up. Like to come home, like my son is 12, right? He'll be 13 February. If he came in a couple years and said, hey dad, I'm not going to school tomorrow. I'm going to be gone for 2 months. I mean, man, take your fucking ass to school. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you listening to no more fucking Tyler, the Creator. Mikey is fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? But can you imagine if somebody would have suffocate your dreams?
It's true.
You know,
true.
and even as a parent, that's our job
So
to make sure
here's-
you're okay.
Right. Here's what I always say with my parents and why I think they're more interesting than other people's like struggle with that is because other people's parents will be like, I don't know anything about that world.
Right.
Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's scary. Whereas my parents, my mom is the most OG movie producer's assistant for 36 years. So she's like, motherfucker, I really know.
Yeah.
You think you know,
But you know what?
But I really know.
Mikey, that could be scary as well because
that's
it's
why I'm
also
saying.
like, I
Exactly.
know.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? like, no, you don't
Yeah.
want this.
And that's
you know?
what I'm saying. And that's where she was coming from. And my dad was on the same thing. You know, my dad, he really knows. So they were like, we don't want you to do it, not because we're scared or ignorant, because we know better than you do.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, but nah, fuck that.
Yeah, it's
I gotta
something
go figure it out.
Yeah, and you gotta let people crash the car.
That's
it's
right.
like, man, I could tell you many until you. Oh, okay, I know the impact of it now.
That's right.
And you would have never known.
That's right.
And you probably be sitting up here bitter as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to walk out and see your dreams, and also to see somebody that's moving kind of on the same accord. And also, man, with Tyler, not to make the whole thing about you and Tyler's relationship, but there's a ownership. There's a way that I can do it myself. I'm thinking outside the box.
Well,
I don't need to get with this big ass such and such. And
Right. And this the thing that I think I took from Tyler more than anything is he never will like give something to anyone. It's like he'll put you in the position
Right.
for you to win.
Like, yeah.
And to me, that's the best type of teacher because it's like, I'm just going to place you here
Yeah.
and then let you.
Here's the fishing rod. Here's the bait.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it's like when you need me, come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I really look at
If you need me to
Tyler
help
like-
you carry this bucket of fish,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? then hit me
Exactly.
up. What was your relationship with Mac Miller?
Man, so, touring with Tyler, did that all throughout high school. On the last day of high school, like on graduation, Frank Ocean calls me. And he's like, yo, I'm about to tour for Channel Orange. And I was talking to Kelly Clancy. Would you want to come?
Last day of high
Last day
school.
of high school. So I graduate the next day. The day after that, I left and went and met up with Frank Ocean in Belgium. And we were on tour all throughout Europe for the next like 2 months. And we did Europe, Australia, all this stuff. So once I filmed with Frank, it became like, okay, Mikey's good at filming. He's good at coming on tour. He shows up on time. He delivers the shit.
Work, yeah.
He's serious. But it was crazy because first night on that tour, I always tell the story. When you're at a concert, any of you guys have been backstage, let's say the stage is here. There's a light box on the left where a guy sits there and adjusts the lights and messes with the sound. And some people hate it when you cross in front of them. From filming with Tyler for years, I know this. This is just a random thing that people at venues can't stand when you walk in front of their little light box. But some people don't care.
Yeah.
So first night with Frank, I walk across the light box. And I can sort of hear the little guy like, don't walk in front of me, don't walk in front of me. But I'm just like, fuck you, I'm filming.
Right, yeah.
Whatever.
You know the fuck I am?
And as I'm filming, I can hear him talking to someone else about it. I'm like, this guy is insane. Drop it. I crossed it for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Like I'm done.
Yeah. I'm already over here now.
Yeah.
Frank's security comes up and grabs me by the back of the neck and like cartoon
Yanks.
me so that I go back into the back again. And he goes, the fucking guy told you don't cross the light box. Like, how many times does he have to tell you, blah, blah, blah? I said, whoa, my man, like, it's not that serious, you know? Calm down. And he says to me, kind of like slams me up, don't tell me to calm down. I'll make sure you can never film again. And for some reason, I just like exploded. Like tears, snot just rolling down my face. I'm like 17. I'm screaming in his face. There's nothing you can fucking do to ever stop me from filming. Fuck you.
Oh, that's your moment.
Fuck you. I'm just like, he's a security guard.
Yeah.
But I was taller than him. So I'm like, pointing in his face and stuff. And Kelly Clancy, the manager at the time, walks in like, whoa.
Dude, why can I see that in my head right now?
Yeah, what's happening? And I just storm out. And I go back into the show and I just keep filming the show. I'm like, I'm not even going to talk to you. The next day, the security guard wakes up and he comes in and he goes, hey, man, like, are we cool? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, you tell me. He's like, you really like exploded back there. Like what happened? I'm like, bro, I like love filming.
Yeah, I was about to say that, dude. Like the passion.
Yeah,
like
don't tell me that you're gonna make me stop that. Like we're gonna have a problem for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I heard that. Because if
I'll
my
die for
filming
this.
is your problem,
Yeah.
then you definitely gonna have a problem for the rest of your life.
For sure.
I would have definitely walked by that box just one more time too. You know what I'm saying? Just the next day, like, just out of spite.
Walking all slow.
But even with those type of fuck ups and kind of like bumps in the journey, I still had a good reputation.
Right.
So I started filming with YG on tour and Mac and Kendrick Lamar and all these people, touring with them, filming. And my relationship with Mac, rest in peace, man. For real.
Very intimate too, though. When you travel, because I used to travel with a rap group called the Far Side. I was Far Side's bodyguard. Never snatched up one of the filmers by the neck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sit down. Stop being you. You know what I'm saying? But there is this. It's like a camaraderie. It's like a brotherhood. It's like a, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like a us against the world. We always got not you out there fighting, but you get used to eating with the same people, seeing the same people, intimate moments, looking at them from angles that other people don't get a chance to look at them at. See their happiness, their sadness, whatever it may be. And did you get a lot of that when you were with Mac Miller, where it's like, man, the person.
Man, it's like hard to talk about him because he really was that type of light, you know what I'm saying? And he really was that type of he's just a real guy, bro. Yeah. It is hard to talk about though.
And when somebody's special. And not only because there's some people, bro, and you'll know this if you don't know it now, Mikey, but you'll know it in life. There's some people that are special in life. You know what I'm saying? Like in life, like, damn, that person is special.
Can I tell
I really care about that person.
The last time I hung out with him, that's probably the best thing of our relationship. So he texts me on like a Tuesday night, like 10 p.m. And he's like, what are you doing? With a question mark. And he would never hit me up, say, what are you doing? He would always like hit me about something. And I just replied, nothing. Like, it's Tuesday at 10. What are you talking about? And he goes, I'm about to have a crazy party. Like, come through. I'm like, word. I get dressed. I'm like a lame person. I was about to go to sleep.
Right, yeah.
You're not lame. It's okay.
Yeah, but I get dressed and I drive to his house. When I get there, it's completely pitch black. No music, no nothing.
No wild party.
I knock on the door. He answers. Mac, what the fuck? You said you're having a party. No, we aren't having a party. People are coming. Like, don't worry about it. And we walk into his little studio. And from maybe, 10:30 to midnight, we just talked. And we just talked.
Hey, man, do you feel like in that conversation, you also learned a lot about him that you didn't know?
I did.
Yeah, that's crazy. Huh?
Because I was telling him about the shit that I was going through. And he was giving me the advice on it. And it made me look at him like, wow, you're smarter than what you give off, and you're a little more like
deep.
Yeah, than what you give off. But the story's not over. So we're talking and he was talking about some real shit. He was talking about Ariana and how that was making him feel. And he was talking about how he was so happy and his life was finally like in the space he wanted to be. He felt creative. He felt successful. And we walk out of the like studio where we were talking, full on party.
Damn.
So it's like his best friend is this guy Q. Q had brought a party bus and had like 40 or 50.
Everybody came.
So when we walk out of the studio, it's like full on, like it's cracking.
It's going.
So we stayed up to maybe like 2 a.m. And when I was leaving, it was Mac Miller and Mac DeMarco. So it was 2 Macs. They were in a room. Mac was sitting down playing the bass. Mac DeMarco was walking on a treadmill playing guitar. And they were just singing, going back and forth to each other.
Do your visual.
And bro, I was just like, wow. I know that I'm in the presence of like legendary shit. You know, I know that. And I dap Mac up. Man, I love you, dog. Good to see you. Like, thank you for hitting me up because you definitely didn't have to. It was only a few of us at this house, you know? Left 2 days later.
No, bro.
2 days
I was
later,
going to
bro.
add 2.
And listen to how this shit laid out. So I'm driving on Santa Monica. I start getting texts from my parents and other people like, hey, is this real? Hey, is this for real? And I start looking like, oh, I really hope this isn't real, you know? And I call Q, the guy I was just talking about. And when he picks up,
You know.
it's just dead silent. And I'm like, fuck. I just start crying. And he goes, just come over.
Yeah, man.
Go to Mac's house. They got the tape up. There's news everywhere. It's like helicopter and stuff. But I see his brother. And, you know, his brother, that's like my family, Mac's brother. And his name's Miller. People don't even know that.
Go ahead now.
So Miller McCormick, he's outside the house. And he's strong as fuck, you know? He's like a strong guy. I'm like, do you want to go in there? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, are you hungry? He's like, yeah. So we just left. We went and got some food and we were eating. We didn't really talk that much. We're just quiet, eating at Carney's on Ventura. And after we went back in the house, and yeah, man, it was like the family there, you know? It's hard to talk about.
Yeah.
But that happens. We go in the house. Everyone's like mourning. 4 or 5 hours later, I had to get on a flight and go to Toronto for the mid-90s premiere.
Damn. So you had your up and down
in like the same 48 hours.
Wow.
Lost someone that I would truly call like a real friend who I talk to every day, you know? But then also the first feature film I was ever a part of is premiering same 48 hours.
Dude, that's like the ultimate life roller coaster. You know how they say peaks and valleys? Like the emotion of that's total polar opposites as far as where you're at. Like, man, I'm the most happy. Look at this. This is what I've been working for. You know, dreaming about. And then also, I'm in this nightmare over here.
Yes.
As well.
But then let me tell you why it got
How long did that plane ride feel?
so twisted. It felt like forever.
Yeah.
We watched the movie, right? And everyone's clapping and giving a standing ovation. And all I could think of in my head was Mac just telling me, like I said, 3 days earlier, I'm so proud of you with this movie. I remember when you were a little kid coming to my other house with Nakel. Like, he was saying that. He's like, I remember that. Now you guys are making a feature film. That's all I could think about. When we walked to the back, everyone's all happy, congratulating each other, congratulating Jonah. And I just started crying. And for like 20 minutes, I couldn't stop crying. And I was just, there was all these red velvet, what do you call those? Curtains. I was blowing my nose in the curtain. Like, I just couldn't stop.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Hey, man, being that you did speak of mid-90s, bro, I thought that movie was so fucking dope. And when we think about like a timepiece movie, I thought it was put together so well. I thought the timing was dope. I thought, and even with Nakel, I loved how the actors, like, I wasn't looking like, oh man, that's the kid from such and such, and that's the kid from such and such, and that's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You really just felt like those were some kids that was just hanging out, bro. Yes. And it was like there was no script and no cut and do it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looked like y'all were really documenting someone's life that was skating in the 90s.
For sure.
How did you and Jonah's relationship come together?
Man, first of all, thank you for saying all
No, that and I told Jonah too. That movie was fucking dope to me, bro.
Wait for my movie. We just finished shooting it. It's gonna be called North Hollywood.
I love that it's called North Hollywood.
It's Vince Vaughn, Miranda Cosgrove, that kid writer who's sitting outside right now.
Hey man, I love a writer gonna be like, man, remember when I came? I was sitting outside because it's crazy to see the story evolve.
It's facts.
Because you got to think, like, even as you're talking about Vince Vaughn and who you have in your movie, when you think about, if you rewind and you say mid-90s, you rewind and all the concerts, all the, you know what I'm saying? To say, wait till you see my movie.
And Big, let me tell you, everything I've ever done, all the skate videos, all the short films, all the documentaries, all the tour filming, that's all mixtapes. This right here, North Hollywood.
What is it?
This is my first album.
Dope as fuck.
I love that.
You know?
That's dope
as fuck, man. How do, with the work that you're doing and being entrusted with so many friends or so many people that's real businessmen, Jonah, Tyler the creator, but it's like, man, we're kind of cut from the same cloth. How do you go?
Me and Jonah though, we're not covering.
But I'm saying with responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? Of okay, here's my movie. Now, how do you go from that to somebody entrusting you to say, okay, we saw what you did producer wise. Now we want to do yours.
Hey, it's hard, bro.
Yeah,
it's fucking hard. But going through this, it showed me who has my back, who doesn't. Who's just talking like this?
Yeah,
who really does action? You know, this process taught me.
How did you get Vince Vaughn? Because you got to think Vince Vaughn is a pick and choose.
Yeah,
come on, you know what I'm saying? Like
he's a legend. So the way that happened was actually so crazy. Our casting director / producer name's Carmen Cuba. Carmen goes, "What do you think about Vince Vaughn as an option?"
You're like, yeah, I would love it. We need a Vince Vaughn type.
No, and I'm like, yeah, it's a great idea, but like, that's impossible.
Yeah, you killed that on the vine,
right? And she's like, no. His agent is this guy named Solko at WME, or one of his agents. And I go, wait, what? And she's like, yeah. One of his agents on the team is this guy named Solko. I go, that's my agent.
Oh.
And she's like, well, you have a pretty good chance.
You got the in.
So not even 3 minutes later, Soko calls me. Are you trying to put Vince in North Hollywood? I said, yeah. He said, I think it's a great fucking idea. You guys will love each other. I'm going to start working on this. So he goes back. There's more people on Vince's team. He starts talking to them about it, convincing them. Maybe 3 weeks later, my friend Chris Storer, who doesn't work at WME, he's not an agent, nothing. He's just a producer. I text him, yo, I might meet with Vince Vaughn. I know you guys know each other. Can you put in a good word? Chris puts in a good word. Maybe like another week goes by. Vince is ready to meet. We go to a Starbucks in Manhattan Beach. I get there 45 minutes early.
Hell yeah.
And I just sit there. I'm just waiting. And I see him pull up. I start getting super nervous. My heart's like beating super fast. He's walking towards me. Before he like,
did he look bigger in person?
He's huge.
Yeah,
he's like 6'5".
Yeah.
And as he's walking towards me, my heart's like beating, nervous. And he's like, "What's up, man? Yeah, good to see you." Saying it from kind of far. I'm like, "Yeah, good to see you too." And I stand up and he's like, "I'm gonna go inside real quick and get a drink." I'm like, "Okay, yeah." And
Okay, let me sit back down. That was awkward. Was that awkward? Yeah, like, oh, cool. Do I stand back up when he come back out?
Exactly. So when he's inside, all of that's running through my head.
Yeah.
And then I go, man, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
This is another person.
You were psyching yourself out too much.
And he's like, the reason he wants to meet you is because there's a slight interest he might want to be involved.
He's here for a reason.
You know, there's a slight interest.
But you didn't like totally fuck yourself out the game when he came out. You had snot in your nose. You're
like,
you're not going to stop me from filming. You're like, kid, calm down. You know? What are you talking about, dude? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
But let's say that's at, I think it was 11:30 a.m. When he came back out, we sat there until like 2 o'clock.
Wow.
Just talking about life, talking about how he grew up, how I grew up, talking about our like values and the type of stuff that we think
Everything
is
other
important,
than
the movie.
Yep.
And in the last 30 minutes, he's like, "Man, talk to me about this movie."
Right. Yeah.
So we started talking
Like,
about
movie.
the movie.
I want to be your friend.
And we started talking about the movie, and he's like, "I want to read the script again, but I'm really interested." He's like, "I have to be honest, like coming here, I was just kind of doing it so that I could give this a shot.
Yeah.
But now I'm like interested."
Right. It's almost like when everybody say, "Man, just take the meeting."
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, you know.
It was
but,
that moment.
But I think it's character. And I tell people, man, that character is what's being said about you when you're not in the room. And for y'all to have that conversation and everything was not about the film, because I work with a lot of people in radio and I like the story. I like the story. You know what I'm saying? And not like you trying to get over on me or you're trying to be slick. Let's just talk. And then I know if I want to fuck with someone.
Right.
You know?
Right. And like you said, bro, character.
Yeah.
Because I'm big on that too.
Yeah, very much so, bro.
Big on that.
Very
Character.
much so.
We got to operate correctly. You know, I was raised a certain way. I
Yeah.
believe certain values, right?
Yeah, man. And you never know who's going to put you into the so-called next position. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when I got into radio, man, the Baker Boys used to do radio, and they were my guys. And I never thought about doing radio. You know, and then when an opportunity came, they were like, "Oh, well, try this guy named Big Boy." Rick Cummings, their boss, called me, said, "Hey, I got a crazy idea. You want to try radio?" But it was character. It wasn't about like, "Oh, he's the best radio guy. He's the this, he's the that." And my man told me, he said, "I could teach you radio, but I can't teach you personality." And I have that. Now, if I had been a piece of shit, he would have asked the Baker Boys, "Who's the guy?" "Well, that guy, Big Boy. What about him?" They'd be like, he's more problems than profit. Or, "Oh, he's a piece of shit."
Right.
No, you know what I'm saying? So character is what's being said about you when you're not in the room, bro. You know, and that's also, he took some temperatures with your agent. You know what I'm saying? Think about how many people his agent, you know, that your agent know.
Right.
He can't put Vince Vaughn in everybody's movie.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's about, hey, no, just, you know, there's an energy and there's a chemistry there. When does your movie drop?
So next May.
Yeah. So you got the anticipation.
I do.
For like, what is that, 8 months or something? Where you're like, damn. Are y'all in the bay right now? You're editing or?
So we're in the edit.
This the hard parts too, huh?
Yeah. We're in like week 6 of the edit. So we're still going through it. We're still working hard on it, but we've been showing it to people. I'm excited.
That's dope.
I don't even want to like hype it up, but I'm excited.
That's dope.
And it's really, you know, I grew up as a skater. It's the first movie ever about becoming a pro skater. The real first movie about that.
Okay.
And like the real version of it. You
Okay.
know, not the fake version, the real shit.
Not the like bubblegum version.
Hell
Yeah. Yeah. Like when somebody else come in that's not from the culture too. You know what I'm saying? Like you,
That part.
and I think that's what I enjoyed about mid-90s as well. Whatever Jonah had to do with the scene, whatever. But I enjoyed that.
See, to me,
People looked at it.
Yes.
Like, okay, yeah.
to
that's
me,
it.
what made that movie is Nakel and Sonny and Ryder, who was also in that, and Olin and all the people that are in it.
They made it believable
They
too,
made
huh?
that.
And plus they cut from the cloth.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, cause we've seen some movie where you're like, man, the fuck this person doing in here? Like,
Right.
you know, like,
Right.
yeah, like, and if it's not supported by the community that you're trying to represent, you asked out from the beginning. You asked out from the beginning, bro.
Exactly. And that's what I brought to it. That's what Nakel brought to it. You know, it was funny in that process, like meeting other Hollywood movie people where they'd be like, "Aren't you guys so happy to like be a part of this?" Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, we're happy, but don't get it twisted. Like
Right.
Nakel is a pro skater
Yeah.
with 10 shoes on Adidas.
Yeah.
Most football players and basketball players don't have 10 shoes.
And he's quiet. He doesn't
So
come in saying,
quiet.
"Hey, I got 10 fucking
10,
shoes, bro."
10.
You know what I'm saying?
10. That's real. That's real. Kobe doesn't have 10 shoes.
Yeah. Man, well,
That's
man,
real.
thank you for coming in here
No,
and hanging
thank
out
you.
with us too,
Thank
bro.
you. Thank you.
I do have one more question.
And I'm saying I want this to be a relationship as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
too.
this is not an interview. Go ahead, love.
You've consistently have had music and filming a part of your career. Looking out at the future, how do you want to continue to bring both of those two worlds together?
So we just did this deal recently. We signed an imprint deal with Interscope. So we have our own label under Interscope.
Nice.
And we can release music if we want to. And then when it comes to our films, it makes it a little easier to get it cleared. And we have the relationships now. So there's always gonna be music involved.
I think what's so great about you too is like you don't let anyone put you in a box. Everyone doesn't have to do one thing. And you just are vast across the board of things that you want to be involved in and things that you are trying to create. And I like that it's not just this, well, I want to do one thing. You know what I mean? I think that's really dope.
You know what's crazy about that too, man? Where I don't really trip off of numbers, but you 24, right?
Yeah.
And you got to think at 18, you probably thought, not braggadociously, but damn, I'm the shit. You know what I'm saying? At 20, you probably like, damn, I'm moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the shit. And not braggadociously. 22, 24, what does 30 look like to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about all the shit that you're touching, all the things that you're learning.
Yeah. Here's what it is. With the First Team Movie Studio, right? Every year, we've done these music festivals. So this year was the first one. We're going to do it again next year. And the first year was 2,000 people. The next year, we want to do 6,000. We're going to keep growing that over the next, 6, 7, 8 years. Once that gets to that Camp Flognaw, Coachella level, we want to make an amusement park.
Hey, dude.
And instead of Disneyland, it's Illegal Civ Land.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a skate park here. You can watch movies. There's rides.
And you know what's crazy about that, though, Mikey? Is somebody got to do it. You know how you'll see something where you're like, man, I go places, right? And I'll say, somebody did this. You know what I'm saying? Even like you go to Walt Disney, whoever the people, somebody did this. Like, why I can't do this?
Facts.
Like, somebody did it. Did you see Camp Flognaw becoming what it was from either an idea or, like the small writing on the wall?
Them outside. I remember the first one at the Novo downtown. 2,500 people.
And they probably thought they was the shit. Like, we had 2,500 come out.
Really. Like, I know that Tyler knew he had that bigger vision.
Yeah.
Where it's like, he's always had that. He always has had that. So he did the 2,500. It was like, okay, cool. It went smooth. Perfect. Lil Wayne came, did a surprise. Great. The next year, I think it bumped up to like 10,000 or 8,000. And then since then, it's just been 30,
bro.
Well, you
40,
have to
60.
Yeah, you have to do yours because then I can say braggadociously, I was at the first one.
Yeah. I was there. I'm going to even go further. I'm going to say I was with him when he created it. Okay. I was like, man, I remember sitting in an interview with Mikey, and I said, man, why don't we just do, this? But did you go to the one last year?
Yeah, that was the first. I went to the very first one.
Yeah, so I'm going to rewrite history.
Oh, okay.
I was there too. I remember that. I didn't know that was yours.
Oh yeah.
That was, you know what I'm saying? That is
Sun Valley.
crazy. Yes, right here by Polly. By Bing Bing Bing. There it is, man. I did not know that was yours. I had a good time. It was about 2,000 of us out there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This year, let's go for 4 or 6. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But why stop? Yeah. No, but man, I wish you nothing but the best, bro.
Thank you.
You have great energy, man. And it's crazy because you are very motivating. Very I think I got more out of this conversation than you got coming in here sitting with me because I'm working on shit too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you gotta like sit with people sometimes like, oh, okay. Like and it makes sense.
That, though,
but for real, bro.
A lot of these like older Hollywood people, they don't show that respect, bro.
Nah, fuck
or
that.
Or they see me and they get like intimidated.
Right. And you know what? And they should be intimidated. And you should recreate. And you should look at what's coming up. You know what I'm saying? Because the best way for somebody to knock you out of position is when you're like this.
Right.
Got your legs up. Ooh. I will knock your ass right out of position. Ooh. So I stay like this. You know what I'm saying?
Stay right.
Yeah, but nah. Don't get complacent, man. I look at these motherfuckers. You turn into dinosaurs. I'm not doing that. Fuck that.
Fuck that.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. And continue to think out the box, man. And maybe one day down the road, I'll be working for you. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be like, man, I really like when Big. You know what I'm saying? He treated me nice, man. Hire him. You know what I'm saying? But no, thank you for coming into the neighborhood, man. And stay next to us as the movie starts to go. And the movie is titled. It's entitled North Hollywood.
I love it.
Low hanging fruit, bro. It's a pleasure to meet you, my guy.
I did want to tell one story.
Please do.
Before we signed
Take
off.
your time.
Just talking about that right now, it made me think of one thing. Spike Jonze.
Yes.
You know who he is?
Yes.
He's someone that I don't fuck with.
Really? See?
He's an older Hollywood guy that I thought was cool as fuck. And that I looked at as like a mentor type.
Damn. They say you don't want to meet your heroes.
And as I got closer, it was like, wow, fuck you.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Hey, and you know what's crazy? Not that we get in a position to say those things, but it's good when we can get into a position to say those things.
Yeah.
Because I don't fuel myself, and I know you don't on that, but there's been people that I've been like, and somebody probably saying about me, I don't know, but they don't really know me. You know what I'm saying? You probably sent me something in my DM, I didn't look at it.
If I'm
you know what I'm
being
saying?
real,
But if
too, it's Jonah too.
What do you mean?
Both of those guys, I'm not fans of them, bro.
Really? Jonah Hill? You saw something different now? Wow.
It's like once you got closer, you see.
That's unfortunate, yeah.
Wow. But you know what that is too, man? That's another thing where the writing on the wall. And I always tell people, I'm like, man, you could be like back here, Mikey, and be like, man, what does that say? What is that? And then when you get up on it, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yes. And that's exactly what it was.
The writing.
It's like a painting where you only see this one piece of it. But then when you zoom out, you go, oh.
Hey, man, it took you.
Now I get, okay.
Hey,
cool.
dude, it took you some time.
It did.
To even say that today. Because that's not what you came in on. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because when I caught a little something when I said Jonah Hill's name with the movie. And it was kind of like, hey, well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. And even now, you're not lashing anyone. It's just your experience with someone. And that also tells you how to treat the next person.
That's right, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the position you're in and the position you want to be in and the position someone's in and the position they want to be in.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? And people are looking, bro. And sometimes people make the most noise when they're saying nothing. And you just looking at them like, okay. All right. Man. And dude.
Dog, that's real.
Yeah. Sometimes I just
Spike, it was a quiet moment like that. That was the moment that broke it.
And watch how people treat you and how they treat others, what they say behind others' backs. And you see it, bro. You see it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes do we double down on hoping people are different? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I hope this like then it's like, nope.
And past hoping you're different, also sometimes you try to work with them. I know you're going through something. I know everyone's hurting. So even though you're being a dickhead right now, let me try to mold this. And we I have a stutter. We can still make this work.
What was you and Spike's relationship?
But once you take it down that path and you still see, fuck, I don't fuck with this person. Me and Spike, so I met him.
And you got to think, getting into the game,
it's different.
that's Spike Jones. Right. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't look at him anymore.
Okay, dope. Okay.
Because I always looked at like...
But you could recognize it.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I can get why other people look at him that way. But when I see like the old Biggie video that he did with the little kids, like when I watched that, I didn't see it when it came out. So to me, it's not like the dope new thing.
Right.
It's someone being like, oh, Spike Jonze, like he's a dope director. You need to go and like look up his old stuff. So like, okay, word. And when I go watch a video like that, that was like the first thing I ever saw that he did. And I see, it's like, oh, okay, Biggie's like a 7-year-old in the video. That's like the idea. And I'm watching and I'm like, you have these little 7-year-old black girls in bikinis by the pool as if they're like rap video vixens. That's weird to me.
Yeah.
And then I keep watching it and I'm like...
But you know what it is too? Let me give you the moment in time as well. We had just lost Biggie. That album was running. That's what Puff and them were about. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of videos. So I think at a moment in time, I didn't look at it like that. Now that I'm removed a little bit and I have an 11-year-old daughter,
where you would
just
be like,
fucked me up right now.
Yeah, you'd be like, what? You're not doing that. Yeah.
Right. But also, there's some things, even if you go back and look at certain things, there's some things that's just classic. Like, damn, they were ahead of their time. But there's also some things you just got to put in the vault. And I think that's one of those things, Mikey, that you just put in the vault.
Right. Okay, but not even, I don't even care about that.
Right. It wasn't about the video. I'm
just saying it's like that video. Okay, I look at that a little weird. And then it's like I watch his movie, like Being John Malkovich. I grew up watching The fucking Godfather and being next to Robert Evans. So with movies, I'm a tough critic.
Right.
You know? And I watch Being John Malkovich and it's like, it doesn't touch me. It doesn't move me. I I think it's weird and like, it's cool and quirky and stuff, but this means nothing to me. So for context, it's like, that's how I'm
So you weren't coming in on no that.
I'm not coming at you like, I think you're the best of all time. I'm
and
like,
then
you're accomplished.
You stripped all that down and you were able to see the person.
That's
like you're not shitting on his work or whatever.
At all.
You talking about like,
I'm just offering
and it took you
context.
a moment to say the person. Like,
I'm just offering context saying that I wasn't going in being a big fan of him.
Right.
So
or I need to get next to him or.
Yeah, that changes.
What happened with you and Jonah?
That's such a long story.
Well, you know what, man? I don't have Jonah here either,
story.
and we'll talk about that one. But that one was just like, damn, because it almost put us when I saw mid-90s, it was like, oh, this and that. But that's got to be even deeper than the Spike Jones. You know what I'm saying?
Deeper.
Oh, I can imagine, man. We'll get it in.
We will.
We'll get it in, man. 100%. But thank you for coming into the neighborhood. Natalia, anything before we break? Man, I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, Big.
I thank you, man, and keep that character strong, bro.
Thank you.
Big Boy's Neighborhood.
Boy.
Yes.